Okay, let's take rap music. Same people who own the labels own the prisons. So
literally the same people?
Literally the same people who own the labels own private prisons. So it seems really kind of suspicious, if you want to say that word, that the records that come out are really geared to push people towards that prison industry.
When it got to the place where it was so pro-black, that's when I was in bliss. I thought it was over the top. I thought we were there for sure. But again, when the gangster rap started getting more promoted, and it wasn't like, and I love Snoop together, I love Dre, I'm Snoop, Dre, and Ice Cube for sure. But the company putting money behind that, I thought was very, very counterproductive for us, quite frankly.
The story starts in 2012 when this blog post popped up on Hip Hop is Read with the headline that looked like straight up conspiracy theory vibes. The secret meeting that changed rap and destroyed a generation. Now the post had a whole letter written attached to it, supposedly written by a former music industry insider. The industry insider claimed that back in 1991, a group of about 25 to 30 people got invited to this super hush-hush meeting out in LA. And here is where it really gets disturbing. Some of the people backing the music industry wasn't in the business of making music anymore. They were in the business of incarceration. And just like any other business, they wanted a return on their investment. They needed bodies in those cells. And the proposal was that the music industry was going to start to push a new type of rap. And one that glorifies crime, street life, gangbanging, and drugs, and all of that. No one from the industry has ever confirmed that this meeting actually happened. No receipts, no names, no official statements, no leaked emails or backroom footage. Just that one anonymous letter from somebody claiming that they were in the room. Some folks think the reason it's so quiet is because them NDAs were real and airtight. It makes the whole thing feel like the kind of story that was meant to disappear. But if all of this still sounds like complete nonsense to you, then you should hear what Kim Osorio, a former editor-in-chief of The Source and one of the most respected voices in hip-hop journalism, hinted at in an NPR interview. I believe there was an agenda. I don't know how effective it was, but someone had a meeting somewhere. Definitely feels like a lot to take in. But here's the thing. Right after that meeting supposedly went down, the rap game started changing in a way that's hard to ignore if you were paying attention. Like clockwork, the politically conscious rap, the kind of music that used to speak to us and for us, started disappearing from the spotlight. One moment that really put this whole theory into focus is the 1992 LA riots. Now, if you don't know, after the Rodney King verdict dropped and those 4 cops walked free, LA burned.
They're attacking everyone that comes to a stop here at this intersection. Rocks and bottles being thrown at another car. They're now pulling the door.
The people snapped. Decades of police harassment, brutality, racial profiling, being treated like less than human boiled over. And hip-hop, which had always been the voice of the streets, was standing right in the middle of the chaos, ready to speak. This should have been the moment for political rap to shine, but instead, something really strange happened. The labels didn't lean into political rap. They ran from it. They stopped signing those kinds of artists. Southern hip-hop journalist Charlie Braxton put it plain. Whether or not that's true, we don't know. But I can say this. After the LA riots, there was a dearth of conscious rappers being signed, and you saw an explosion of gangster rap records and apolitical records being signed and promoted. Do you think that's an accident? Some will tell you It was definitely not an accident, especially when you look at the timeline before and after the LA incident. In the late 80s and early 90s, conscious rap was the heart of hip hop. Rappers talked about real issues, black pride, and fighting the system. Public Enemy dropped It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back in 1998. Chuck D came in loud and clear, rapping about power and racism. In 1990, they gave us Fear of a Black Planet and the anthem, Fight the Power. And at the same time, Boogie Down Productions, which consists of KRS-One, D-Nice, DJ Scott LaRock, they was doing their thing. Queen Latifah dropped All Hail the Queen in 1989 and showed just what strong black woman could do. And then we had my girl, my favorite rapper of all times, MC Lyte, which did the same thing with Light as a Rock in 1988. Then we had Jungle Brothers, De La Soul, A Tribe Called Quest. And they all came with a different style. And nope, they weren't mad, and they definitely wasn't violent. They rapped about peace, love, and thinking for yourself. And it was all about being conscious. Then, in 1992, Dr. Dre dropped The Chronic. Everything changed. The beats got smoother, but the topics got darker. Guns, weed, street life. Then what happened? The industry followed the money. Gangsta rap started taking over. You had young rappers like Snoop Dogg signed to Death Row Records, still in the spotlight with his gangster persona. Then you had Tupac, who started off revolutionary, but would later shift to more grimy topics when he joined Suge Knight and Death Row in 94. Now, Biggie signed with Bad Boy in 94 as well. And even though Biggie had more depth, he was pushed to that Kingpin narrative. Veteran rapper Kool Moe Dee once revealed in an interview that the label tried to push him into what the hood wanted him to make instead of that conscience music that he really liked.
The colonizer and the oppressor is really dictating what we do, meaning, and I said I was one of the most frustrated rappers of all time because there's so much stuff that I wanted to say I never got to say because the record company would not back it. So, and they would tell you things like, that's not hood enough. Your hood don't want to haven't hear that. Like, how do you know you haven't been to my hood ever? And you have not been to any hood that I know of, so how do you know what the hell the hood wants?
Well, just around that period, gangster rap did not just explode in the hood, but worldwide. Weed smoke replaced incense, Glock 9s replaced medallions, players and gangsters replaced poets. And even at that, there was a bigger picture folks missed out on. While this gangster rap wave was being broadcast 24/7 in the 90s, the US prison population was quietly exploding at the same time. And you know who was getting locked up the most? Yeah, you guessed right, young black men. According to the study by the National Center on Institutions and Alternatives, the number of black men behind bars shot up from 147,000 in 1980 to over 540,000 by 1995. Could that bump in numbers be attributed to rap music alone? Definitely not. But some folks like Crazy Bone from the rap group Bone Thugs and Harmony will tell you that the music was being programmed to mislead the youth.
I tell people this, you know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't come out like trying to glorify violence or none of that. We were led to believe this is your chance to tell your story.
Right.
They the ones with the cameras. They the ones glorified it. They the ones put it on TV and did this and did that, you know what I'm saying? Put it in front of them like, and we were fools because we played into it, you know what I'm saying? Like, not knowing that they were going to use it to kind of entrap people coming from,
Right.
you know,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy though. It's like a lesson learned. But It's crazy because it's like the lesson ain't being learned.
Right.
But then again, let's step back and ask, what if this whole secret meeting wasn't really meant to be taken literally? What if it's just a distraction to keep folks looking for a villain in the shadows instead of seeing how the system moves in plain sight? Now, someone who is definitely not buying the secret meeting talk is Regina Bradley, a hip-hop scholar from Atlanta who had this to say. It's not real, folks. It was propaganda that folks just took literally. I'm not saying that there aren't direct connections between the prison industrial complex and media. That's not what I'm saying. The actual letter, though, was almost like a catch-all. I just feel like it was used to amp folks up and add to the paranoia and anxiety around hip-hop culture and the transition in directions that it was going. And there you have it. Now, do you believe that it was some secret meeting? If you do, go ahead and comment, like, and share. And while you're liking and sharing, get the merch. Yeah, Rap Rewind is moving up, baby. Get that merch. Spread love. We will check you out next time. Peace and blessings.